Are you ready for the praise time show? If you're ready, here we go, here we go. Are you ready for the praise time show? If you're ready, here we go, here we go. Are you ready for the praise time show?
This is the year that the Lord has made. Praise time, family. We should rejoice and be glad in it. Yes, we made it. You are alive in 2025. Welcome to the show. I'm Monica, your host, and I'm thrilled to guide you once again through another uplifting episode where gospel music and celebration come together. Whether it's your very first time joining us or you're one of our loyal viewers, we are absolutely delighted to have you with us today. Today, we have the honor of welcoming a truly remarkable and talented guest. He is a 3-time nominated Stellar Award musician and artist who, this past summer, in 2024, was touring with John Legend while battling breast cancer. Also, should we make New Year's resolutions? Our esteemed mental health expert will help us decide if that's good for you. Plus, we'll enjoy a featured music video introduced by the one and only Pastor Harold Ford from the House of Gospel Music. And to start the new year off right, I have a personal message for you. Now, sit back, relax, and let the praise begin.
If I'm really honest, let me tell it like it is. I've been holding on to things I never should. I forgot the promise that if I trusted him, I know that he will work it for my good. I surrender. Control. I know that, 'cause I find freedom in letting go. I surrender, I surrender, I surrender, oh I surrender, I surrender, all to you, I surrender, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. I surrender all to you. I'm letting it go. You got it. I'm letting it go. I surrender all to you. Shout it out, say I surrender. You are more than able, fully faithful. You are big enough. You are strong enough. You are more than able, fully faithful. You are big enough. You are strong enough. You are strong enough. You are more than able. He's fully faithful. You are big enough. You are strong enough. See, you are more than able.
wisest man who ever lived once said that everything has its season. Yes, a time to be born and a time to die. A time to fight, a time to heal. But what about everything else? Everything in between? Seasons like this. Seasons so utterly forgettable. We forget there are even seasons at all. Until one day, things change. And suddenly, we're reminded with stark clarity how closely the darkness is always at hand. Where is God in my anxiety? Where is God in my depression? And where is God amidst all my fears? That he feels so distant. And we so often do question, how? How could it possibly get any worse? And it comes. Not the answer we want, but the answer we fear. That we are alone. The pain we feel, it has no cure. There is no end. Our restlessness is as hopelessly futile as our cries for mercy or even relief. And wave after wave after wave keeps crashing down on us, revealing every crack, exposing every weakness. And as much as we might cling to the hope of a savior, we sink to our knees and we throw our hands in despair and we cry out with everything we have left. Let it end. Let it end, God. Please, let it end. And then a still small voice replies, "It is finished." Yes, my child, it was and is and will be finished, because the light shines through the darkness and the darkness hasn't overcome it, because he is with you and he is for you and he will not forsake you. No matter what seasons come, no matter what time it is under heaven, his love is here for you. It always was, it forever will be. He walks with you through the darkness, through the unending rain, because you are his. And that is something that no season can ever take from you.
Are you ready for the Praise Time Show? If you're ready, here we go.
As we embrace the opportunity for a fresh start, let our personal intentions be guided by the wisdom of the Bible. Proverbs 16:3 reminds us, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." This means inviting God into your goals, whether it's improving your health, nurturing relationships, or developing new skills. Growth is a process, and the Bible teaches that perseverance is key. Let us not grow weary in doing good, For at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. As you work on your intentions, remember that success isn't measured by perfection, but by faithfulness. Trust God to guide your steps and let His word inspire your progress. With His strength, your intentions can become acts of worship and a testimony to His faithfulness. Whether striving for growth in our character, relationships, or work, let us seek humility, perseverance, and faith. With God's guidance, our intentions become a means to glorify Him and bless others. Per usual, I love you, mean it. Take care. Praise Time family, we are honored to welcome a truly remarkable individual whose journey in music and life has been nothing short of extraordinary. A gifted and accomplished musician and producer, he has shared the stage with some of the biggest names in the industry, captivating audiences with his undeniable talent and powerful voice. His hit song, Jehovah Jireh, soared to the top of the Billboard gospel charts, cementing his place as a leading force in the game. In addition, his choir's excellence has been recognized with a Stellar Award nomination for Traditional Gospel Choir of the Year, a testament to his dedication to uplifting and inspiring through music. This past summer, he toured alongside the legendary John Legend, bringing his artistry to an even wider audience. Yet, his story goes far beyond musical accolades. In the midst of him flourishing in his career, he faced a personal battle with breast cancer, a rare disease for men, but one he confronted with incredible courage and resilience. He is more than an artist. He is a true warrior, embodying strength, faith, and determination in the face of adversity. Praise Time family, please welcome Zach Williams. Good morning, Mr. Williams.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. We again are so honored to have you here with us today. So your song, Jehovah Jireh, made it to the top of the Billboard chart, and you have been nominated for numerous Stellar Awards. Please tell us about how you got started in music.
Wow. First of all, it's an honor to be talking with you today. My journey started many years ago right here in Philadelphia at my home church, the Macedonia Free Will Baptist Church. I started playing the piano when I was around 5 years old. I guess my professional journey would have taken place when I was around like 17. I started traveling with the Reverend Ernest Davis Jr.'s Wilmington Chester Mass Choir. I would say that would be how I guess, transitioned into the professional artist and musician.
Wonderful. So you have this song, Jehovah Jireh, and then you find yourself sharing stages with John Legend. I know we've got some aspiring artists and musicians watching. How did that happen? Because that's not an easy transition to go from gospel to mainstream.
Right. Relationship. relationship is key. It's always key to keep great relationships and have a great name out there. A very good friend of mine, I call him my little brother. His name is Eugene Man Roberts. He is John Legend's music director. And he had told me a while ago that he wanted to figure out how to get me and John connected in the choir. So opportunity presented itself. John was in the middle of doing his Songs and Stories tour, and they needed a choir, and I was the perfect choice because we had, like I said, I knew Man. So we started doing it the first day, and we've done a couple of shows, and it's been an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's amazing, and especially for those, again, who are aspiring to do music, the power of character, right? You can't
Yes.
build relationships without good character. How did you
Absolutely.
maintain your character as your name started to grow?
Well, I would say that was from my parents.
Yeah.
My mom and dad always, taught me, to treat people correctly, be respectful, and just do my job and keep it moving. And I've tried to, continue that trend, even though, of course, through life, certain things you get wrong, certain things you get right. But I would say overall, it's been an amazing journey. And I think that teaching when I was a little kid, instilled in me a long time ago, helped me to be now.
Wonderful. Describe your Stellars experience. I know that is a yearly award show that many of our viewers tune into to watch their favorite artists, singers, showcase the music that has influenced their lives. Can you talk about your Stellars experience?
Wow. Well, I remember the very first time I actually went to the Stellars. I sat in the nosebleed section, and then I was able to be a seat filler. And basically what that means, commercial break, they just take random people and fill seats. So I went from being that to performing on the stage with Wilmington Chester Mass Choir. They are a multi-Stellar Award nominated choir. So I used to go every year, with them. And then after I started doing my own thing with my choir, I started going every year. And it's an amazing experience. It's one thing to grow up as a little kid and watch this show that comes on every year. You anticipate that because you're going to see your favorites. So to be in person and watching all of that and being around all of that is absolutely amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah. Who would you say were the musicians or singers that influenced you the most?
Definitely the Reverend Ernest Davis Jr., Bishop Marvin Winans, Quincy Jones, of course, Stevie Wonder, Dr. Stephen Ford, who is from my area, and Willis Hickerson, Bishop Hezekiah Walker. It was just so many.
What was it about their style? Because you listed gospel artists and secular artists. What was it about their style that kind of influenced your journey? Was it their writing, the way they wrote, tone? What was that?
Well, I would say from a choir, I'm going to speak from a choir perspective because that's what I grew up around. We had a family choir. We had 5 choirs at my church. Philadelphia was synonymous with having a lot of choirs. Back in the day when I was a little kid, the late, great Reverend James Cleveland would be here all the time with different choirs. Seeing that captivated me. To see one person have total control of, a great aggregation of singers and musicians, that intrigued me. So I would always want to do that. That was like my dream. And writing songs, proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ and encouraging people just to be able to, encourage someone to believe and to live again. Those were, aspirations, I would say.
Absolutely. For anyone who aspires to get into this gospel music industry, what advice would you give them?
Study to show thyself approved.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Second thing is pray. That's very crucial and very important. And the other thing I would say is don't be scared of the word no, because you won't always get yeses, you know. And if you get no, don't discourage. Just keep moving. It took me a very, very, very long time to be able to get to this point. And I'm grateful to be, to nominate it and all those things, but there's still, growth for improvement. There's still stuff for me to be able to do. Always be a student of your craft.
Yeah.
The next thing I would say, integrity is very important, and try to link up with someone that's where you want to be.
Right.
Not to be a bugaboo or like a drain or so to speak, but to glean and learn from them so that when it's your turn, you'll be equipped with all the tools that you need to prosper.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Williams. We'll take a short break, but when we come back, we'll have more with our special guest, Zach Williams.
We are a new creation, not bound by the mistakes of the past. Our failures do not dictate our future. There is no mistake that Jesus cannot turn into beauty. He is the brush, and we are the paint. With him, our blemishes are washed clean. Freedom is ours through Jesus. Let him be the sculptor and us the clay, carving away our selfish ways. The creator of the earth molding us into a work of art, a one-of-a-kind masterpiece brought to life. In us is unlimited potential that God can use. You were made with marvelous intricacy. You are beautiful and valued. God has orchestrated a tailor-made plan for your life. May a symphony of love and kindness follow you. Reach out to Christ and grab this life. Walk confidently in the knowledge that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Because God's plan for your life is filled with hope and a future.
Are you ready for the Praise Time Show? If you're ready, here we go, here we go.
Welcome back. We are here with gospel singer extraordinaire, Mr. Zach Williams. Zach, while touring with John Legend this past summer, you were also battling breast cancer. Can you talk about how you came to find out you had the disease and the journey to you ultimately ringing the bell in October of 2024?
To put it mildly, it was just very unexpected. It was just one day I was getting ready for work, and I happened to notice the lump. So I ended up getting checked out. I ignored it at first because, most men, they don't like going to the doctors. So, I wasn't scared of the doctors. It just wasn't one of my places I wanted to be. So I ended up maybe like a couple weeks later going to get checked out. And fast forward, that was my diagnosis. And I was completely devastated because I had never heard of a man having breast cancer. I've heard of breast cancer because, a few of my aunts, passed away from breast cancer, and I know a plethora of people, and I just never thought that would be in a man. So when I talked to my doctor, she said, yes, it's very rare, and you're, one of the unlucky numbers. But it's curable. That was the part I was waiting to hear because I wasn't sure. Of course, cancer comes in stages.
Right.
So she said it's curable and we can cure it. Now, all of this happened, just like you said. I had just agreed to do tour dates with John Legend. We had just, again, got nominated for 2 Stellar Awards. I had 2 events that I had to be at. So when I was talking to my doctor, I was like, do I have to stop what I'm doing? I said, because I don't want to miss this tour opportunity, and I'm going to the Stellar Awards. So my doctor was like, well, what's more important is you getting treated. So April 6th, I had my surgery, and when I woke up, I was breast cancer free.
Wow.
It spread to some of my lymph nodes, so they had to remove that, and I had to endure the treatment.
Yeah.
So I went through 12 rounds of chemotherapy, and I rung the bell, like you said, on August the 16th. Now, mind you, all the while, going through chemotherapy, I'm still traveling, doing tour dates. I did the Stellars. Actually, I went to chemotherapy on Wednesday. I was in Vegas by Friday to be at the Stellars. I'm still
Wow.
moving around, while all this is going on. Lost my hair, I lost my beard, I lost all this weight, but I still have my life, and
Yeah.
I am incredibly grateful for that.
Absolutely. Can you talk to us about how getting this news challenged your faith?
It really did, because, when you hear the C word,
Yeah.
the very next thing that you think is mortality. You think death. And that was the very first thing that happened. Because I was sitting there, I was instantly defeated, and I was thinking, it can't end this way,
Right.
not now.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was just kind of like getting to another plateau in my career. And I just did not want to be, I just didn't want that to happen. So I had to talk to my pastor. He was one of the first persons that I called. And my pastor is Bishop Hezekiah Walker. So we sat and we talked for a long time. And, he really, really encouraged me. And then I was talking to some of my other, friends and family. They all just kind of like got behind me. My choir got behind me. I was also preparing for my 20-year anniversary celebration. So I had to step away from the choir while they were doing that. And, just the encouragement that I received, from everyone. And more importantly, just me having that inner time to just, of course, ask God why.
Right.
Not really getting the answer, but still going through it.
Yeah. Like the old saying says, you can't have a testimony without a test, right?
Absolutely.
So I think it's safe to say that this experience challenged your faith, but also
Yes.
increased your faith. Last question.
Absolutely.
How has this experience also encouraged you in terms of speaking out about men and going to the doctor, really prioritizing men's health?
By me catching it and it being curable, that was the incentive for me to talk to other men. Because, had I not saw it,
Right.
had I not took action, it may be a different story right now. We may not be having this conversation.
Right.
So now my and then the other thing is, it's not a lot of information or people speaking out about men
Right.
having breast cancer.
Right.
We can get it too. So now my mission is, of course, spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, helping keep choir music alive, yes, but an even greater mission to now empower men everywhere to get checked. If something doesn't look right, it may not be right. The
Absolutely.
smallest thing could save your life.
Yeah. Early detection is the key, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Zach. How can we follow you and support your career?
I'm on social media as Zach Williams. I'm on Facebook. You can check me out. I respond myself all the time. May take me a minute, but I do respond to all my messages. Also on Instagram, Zach Will Music. I'm on there as well. Look for my name with the blue check, and that's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing with our Praise Time family. Up next, our mental health expert, Dr. Seneka Gainor. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in a few right here on Praise Time TV.
Life is busy. Things can get pretty intense from time to time. Our attention is captured by current events or brief moments that distract from what's important. As we walk this path, our focus starts to shift. Our gaze begins to wander. Life itself gets a bit blurry. That's what chaos does. It diverts our eyes from looking at Jesus. It steals our gaze and distorts our view. But this is not how God intended us to live. For He is the peace in the chaos, the calm in the storm, the anchor in the rising sea. When we keep our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, we can walk through anything this life has to offer.
Are you ready for the Praise Time Show? If you're ready,
A new year has arrived, bringing with it the familiar tradition of making resolutions, personal commitments to improve our lives in some meaningful way. These goals often range from deepening spiritual practices like attending church more frequently or praying consistently, to prioritizing physical health through exercise, dieting, and shedding excess weight. Yet, for many, these well intentioned promises falter all too quickly. Studies reveal that staggering 80 to 90% of individuals abandon their resolutions by February, slipping back into old habits and routines. This begs the question, is a resolution the solution? Or is there a better way to transform our lives? We are grateful today to have with us our esteemed mental health expert, my sister, Dr. Seneka Gainor, to help us get a better understanding and sort this out. Dr. Gainor, hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
I am great.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
Yes,
you.
yes, I'm always happy to see you and have you here with us on Praise Time TV. Yes. Is it good for us to make these resolutions? Should it be done out of pressure?
No.
Yeah.
No, that's what society would tell us. And in some ways, it's okay, right? The new year means new beginnings for a lot of folks. Let me start afresh, right? Put something into practice that I wasn't able to put into practice the previous year and just give myself another chance.
Yeah.
The problem with resolutions is that they're too rigid.
Wow.
They're rigid goals, right? A resolution is something that we are adamant about doing or not doing. Like we are firm that I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Instead, we might want to consider having intentions, New Year's intentions, as opposed to
Explain
New
that.
Year resolutions, right? New Year intentions describe goals that include our values.
Oh, that's good.
So they're value-driven aspirations as opposed to a firm decision to do something. When you lean into intentions, then you can tap into what you value most. For example, a New Year's resolution that is common is I'm going to exercise.
Right.
And I'm gonna go to the gym 3 times a week. Right? An intention, rather, is I'm gonna move my body this week. I'm gonna get outside of the house and get some movement, right? Because I value health, I value strength. And so I want to break this down into achievable goals as opposed to something that is large or grand and firm and doesn't have much flexibility.
Yeah, I love that term intentions because it gives you the flexibility to take maybe smaller steps, but also when you don't meet the goal you had in mind for yourself, we end up like one of the statistics, just dropping it all together. But those intentions kind of create some wiggle room to make progress.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we feel like if it's not the goal, then it's nothing at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's because resolutions are tied to our brain's reward system.
Wow, that's good.
Right? When we believe that we can accomplish this big thing, we did a good job.
Yeah.
As opposed to something that's more achievable and reinforces accomplishment in smaller doses.
Yeah.
Like I moved this week.
Yeah.
I cooked a meal this week that I tried a new recipe that I've never tried before.
Yeah.
Right? Something that ties to what we really love as opposed to what we think we should love and what we think we should do.
Yeah.
Not everyone loves exercise.
That's right. Listen, I'm not
loves
joyful
that.
going.
Right. But some people may love to dance.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful way to exercise without putting the pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
So I might say, I'm going to put on a YouTube video and I'm going to dance along with this video.
Yeah.
As opposed to telling yourself that I have to do this specific exercise in order to achieve my goal.
Yeah. So is it safe to say, and you can tell me if it's a positive, negative, or both,
Yeah.
do New Year resolutions or New Year's resolutions have a positive or negative impact on your mental health, or both?
A little bit of both, but
Yeah.
I would lean towards negative impact. I think that everything serves a purpose, so that's why I say a little bit of both.
Sure.
But because of the rigidity of a resolution, it can negatively impact the bigger picture. The bigger picture is to foster change and growth in your year, right? And if you are embodying resolutions that are not achievable, then it can lead to guilt and shame, that it can never be consistent. I can never stick to it, right? As opposed to leaning into, what are my intentions for the year? And it could be, what are my intentions quarter by quarter? There are 4 quarters in the year, so this quarter, January to March, I'm going to attempt to do this because this is what I value. And then the next quarter, I might change it up. Even in the areas where we want to foster growth, journaling, for example, we want to be mindful of how we're structuring that for ourselves, as opposed to, I'm going to do a 1-hour self-reflection each week. Maybe I'm going to take 5 minutes just to deep breathe and write down some things in my journal, and that's it. If I do more, then great, but give yourself room for more, as opposed to imposing more on yourself and causing that pressure.
The resolution goal, failure, to be more specific, is staggering. Why is that? What do you think the main cause of that is? And you kind of alluded to it earlier. What do you think the main cause of that would be?
It's the pressure to get something done. And when I say something, it's usually not tied to what we value. It's what we think that we need, or what we think that we want. Now, granted, there are plenty of goals that people actually want to accomplish because it ties to who they want to be, and that's okay. But who you want to be may not be tied to what you value.
Oh, that's good.
Because you'll be consistent with what you value, not what you want to be. And on your road to becoming, you have to identify, what is it that I value, because what I value, I'll be consistent with. If I value my TV time, I'm going to watch TV.
Absolutely.
If I value my Netflix time and all of that, sports, when it comes around, I'm going to engage.
Absolutely.
So tie your resolutions or your intentions, your goals, to what you value, so that you won't experience that guilt and shame of not getting it done, and you will actually reinforce some accomplishments, a sense of accomplishment.
For sure. Is it safe to say that it could be an opportunity to not expose, but to maybe reveal if our values are rooted in the wrong things? Because we're failing in these resolutions, maybe to keep up with the wrong things. We want to keep up with the appearances on social media and what society says you're supposed to look like, think like. And when we fail, we're in this endless cycle of trying to prove a point to who, when in all actuality, maybe the end goal is to be happy with self. And that has nothing to do with, or in isolation, isn't limited to just working out, but some inward work. And so I love that you kind of reframe that as not resolutions, but intentions, because now we can expose, what are my values and why? Why do I want to go to the gym? Is it for attention, or to be healthier? Or to compare, or, you know what I mean? I love that framing of being intentional about, or setting intentions rather than resolutions.
Instead of vision boards this year, maybe try a values board.
I like that.
Identify what your values are, and from there, set some achievable goals tied to those values.
I love that. Value boards. The vision's out.
Right.
I hope you're enjoying this discussion. We'll be right back with more with the one and only Dr. Seneka Gainor. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
We cannot talk about America without talking about Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. America simply would not look the same without his efforts towards equality and against racism, poverty, and violence. He fought for justice and equality for all people, all around the world, like so many civil rights heroes did before him. He lived to combat hatred with love and understanding, an understanding of empathy and cultural change in America for the marginalized and the disenfranchised, to bring hope and change to those who lived under racial apartheid. These are the very ideals we strive to uphold even today. Freedom, equality, hope, joy, love, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. how then do we reflect on these things? We must create the margin and slow down to ask ourselves, when I look into the face of my neighbor, will I choose to see these things? When I see myself in the mirror, will I be a reflection of these ideals today? This is how we remember Dr. King. By how we live our lives, by how we treat one another, by how we treat ourselves. How will you remember this MLK Day?
We are back with Dr. Gainor, and before the break, we were discussing value boards opposed to vision boards. You shared with us that to relieve some of the pressure of the New Year's resolution goals and the fact that 80 to 90% fail, we need to reframe that as maybe New Year intentions.
Yes.
So how do we start? Let's start there. How do we start this New Year intention?
Yeah. Well, let's walk through it together.
Yeah.
Can you tell me something, one or two things that you value about yourself?
One or two?
Yes.
I value my family.
Yes.
Does that count?
Yes.
Okay. My family, and I value my career.
Value your family
Yes.
and your career. Can you give me one or two intentions tied to your family and career? Maybe one for each.
Okay. So for my family,
What would you like to do with your family this year?
travel more with my family, and more business with my family. And then with my career, advance it a little bit more in terms of educating others.
Yes.
So really kind of going larger with my ability to educate
Great
others.
intentions.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, what is one achievable action step you can take towards traveling more and maybe incorporating business initiatives with your family?
Maybe having family meetings.
Yes.
So we can plan that.
Yes. So in your first quarter, you're going to schedule family meetings with your
Let's call
loved
Mom.
ones. Yes.
Mom?
Let's call Mom right now.
Mom, we're traveling more.
Yes. And an action step towards the intention for your career.
Applying for different jobs, maybe boosting my resume, going to different trainings that maybe align with where I want to go.
Yes,
Okay.
sign up for a professional development course. Yes, or go to Skill Center. There are a lot of actually free platforms that will allow folks to develop their skills. So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You want to start with your vision, or your values rather, and identify what is important to you. From there, you want to think about an achievable goal or intention related to that value, and then an observable and a measurable action step that will get you there.
Yeah, this was so helpful because I don't think a lot of people know the questions to get to that outcome,
Yes.
right? And so that can be really, really tricky. And so thank you for providing questions for our audience to use. Use these questions to guide you to get through your intentions. So let me ask you, what are some things that you value for 2025?
Well, we're sisters, so
Yes.
we have similar values.
We do.
I value my family.
Yes.
I value my career,
Yes.
especially because my career is in a helping profession. And so that's important to me. I value not only the clients that I see week to week, but the students that I teach who are emerging counselors themselves. Obviously, we value spending time with each other
Yes.
and our family. That's always fun. And being intentional about that is important because busy schedules get in the way of that.
For sure.
Right. And so if I'm setting my intention as opposed to a firm resolution, that might not get done. Anything that's firm with human beings, we tend to almost rebel, right? It's almost like you're forcing me to do something and I don't want to do it.
Right.
So I have to make sure that what my goal is for the year really aligns with what I really want to do. What does my heart say that I want to do? And that is important throughout this year to check in with your heart. Ask yourself, how is your heart today?
Yeah.
How is my heart today?
Yeah.
So that I'm making sure that I'm in alignment.
Yeah.
And it's the same with our relationship with God.
Right.
That's exactly how we stay grounded,
Yeah.
how we stay anchored. We continue to check in with Him, and we get into His Word so we're making sure that we're in alignment with what He's saying.
Yeah.
When you're in alignment, it's hard to foster or
Right.
to flail or fail.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to be thrown off because I'm on track with my values and my intentions for my life.
Absolutely, because values stick with you. That's your core.
Yes.
With that in mind, when people quit their resolutions, they just give up on them.
Yes.
Quit. Speak to that. Does that mean we failed?
Well, I think that is relative.
Yeah.
One thing to note is when you have a mishap or you make a mistake or you're not consistent with a goal, that is an opportunity to course correct, not an opportunity to quit.
Yeah.
It doesn't the journey doesn't have to look one way.
Right.
That if I'm really committed to this is what we tell ourselves. If I'm really committed to this, I will go to the gym weekly and I won't stop.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So there's no flexibility in that goal. It's very rigid, right? You want to incorporate flexibility in your goal so that if you cannot make it or you can't do it or you just don't want to, you're giving yourself that grace to say it's okay. And it doesn't reflect your commitment. It highlights what's happening in the here and now for you.
Yeah.
And we honor our bodies that way when we check in with our body instead of forcing our body to do things that we don't want to do and end up resenting that we're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
And so when we think about quitting, it's not that we're necessarily failing. We might have overcommitted and didn't align ourselves with what we really value and what we really have capacity to do right now. Not everyone has capacity to start going to the gym weekly starting January.
Right.
If you weren't doing it in December,
correct,
it may be a little difficult.
Those 2 weeks aren't going to develop too many things.
Right, to develop that wherewithal to say, I'm going to go in January. It feels good because it's new. And that's okay to lean into new things. While you're leaning into new things, though, if you're not able to hold on to it, give yourself grace, come back to yourself and say, what is my capacity right now? Do I have capacity for a gym membership? Or do I have capacity for an aerobics video on YouTube at home? And be mindful of that.
Absolutely. What I gather from this is resolution focus on success or failure, but intention focuses on progress. And I love that. I feel like I can take a deep breath. We want to thank you, Dr. Gainor, for always sharing your words and your knowledge and wisdom with us. We appreciate it very much. Up next, we have Pastor Harold Ford with the House of Gospel Music with today's featured gospel music video. Stay tuned.
The wisest man who ever lived once said that everything has its season. Yes, a time to be born and a time to die. A time to fight, a time to heal. But what about everything else? Everything in between? Seasons like this. Seasons so utterly forgettable. We forget they're even seasons at all. Until one day, things change. And suddenly, we're reminded with stark clarity how closely the darkness is always at hand. Where is God in my anxiety? Where is God in my depression? And where is God amidst all my fears? That he feels so distant. And we so often do question, how? How could it possibly get any worse? And it comes. Not the answer we want. The answer we fear. That we are alone. The pain we feel, it has no cure. There is no end. Our restlessness is as hopelessly futile as our cries for mercy or even relief. And wave after wave after wave keeps crashing down on us, revealing every crack, exposing every weakness. much as we might cling to the hope of a Savior, we sink to our knees and we throw our hands in despair and we cry out with everything we have left. Let it end. Let it end, God. Please, let it end. And then a still small voice replies, "It is finished." Yes, my child, it was and is and will be finished, because the light shines through the darkness and the darkness hasn't overcome it, because he is with you and he is for you and he will not forsake you. No matter what seasons come, no matter what time it is under heaven, his love is here for you. It always was, it forever will be. He walks with you through the darkness, through the unending rain, because you are his. And that is something that no season can ever take from you.
Are you ready for the praise time show? If you're ready, here we go, here we go.
This is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Matthew 6:1. What's up, Praise Time TV? I'm Pastor Harold Ford, host of the House of Gospel Music radio show, heard on numerous radio stations worldwide every weekend. Have you ever heard someone say, "I have heaven right here on earth"? While it may sound much like a cliche for describing something truly delightful, the concept of heaven is far more profound than just a metaphor. The truth is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And during that act of creation, he was present in both realms. Heaven is just not some whimsical idea or fanciful invention of human imagination. It is a real sacred place where our holy God dwells. Perhaps you've heard the saying, "Everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die." It speaks to the longing for eternal peace and the reluctance to face mortality. Yet, for those who have accepted Jesus into their lives, heaven is a promise, a place of eternal fellowship with the Father. One day, you will experience that glorious reality of heaven, the divine home where God our Father resides. For right now, here's B.B. Winans with his song entitled "Father in Heaven," right here on Praise Time TV.
Woke up this morning, clothed in my right mind. The love that you bestow makes my heart resign. Didn't have to do it, glad that you did. You have remained faithful ever since I was a kid. Right now I thank you for all that you've done. It's hard to believe from whence you brought me from. Father in heaven right now. Father in heaven right now. Yeah, right now. Father in heaven right now. Yes, I give you, Father. Give you the praise right now. Right now. Yeah. Ooh. What? Yeah. You keep every promise. And when life is unkind, give you my full attention, and you give me peace of mind. Follow my mercy, and your grace is so good. And if I could repay you, I would. Father in heaven right now. Yeah, ooh,
On behalf of everyone here at Praise Time TV, we would like to extend our heartfelt thank you to our wonderful guest, Zach Williams, and for you joining us today. We wish God's love, peace, and his blessings follow each and every one of you henceforth now and forevermore. Remember to stay uplifted and encouraged until we see you next time. Where? Right here on Praise Time TV.
From all of us at Praise Time TV, we extend our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing in this journey of worship, music, and togetherness.